Hi, I'm Marcus Dent with the Gridiron Insight, and that's my sidekick, Mikhail Stephen. What's going on, Mikhail?
What's going on, man? Happy Thursday. One more day to go. We got some football.
Oh, man, another week of football, man. Hey, got some really big games coming up, man. We got a very important game going on in Oxford, Mississippi. You got Ole Miss, and you got the Boomer Sooner coming to town. So,
Okay.
Both of these teams, man, needing a win. Everybody know Oklahoma let go of their offensive coordinator after last week game against South Carolina, man, which was unfortunate. But some change had to happen. Ole Miss dropping the game down at LSU, game that you was there for, and right now, man, Ole Miss got to win this football game. I mean, they have to win this football game if they're going to keep their playoff hope alive.
Well, Ole Miss suffered a crushing loss to LSU. They got back on their feet with a win last week. I think the biggest thing is Bentley has been running the ball effectively. And that's going to be a key for Ole Miss going down the stretch, I believe. And I think they can handle, Oklahoma offensively. I think they can just pretty much outscore them. But I think Bentley is the key moving forward and getting that running game established.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think last week he had a big 55-yard run or something similar to that. And he had about 100 plus on the ground. So I kind of wonder why we hadn't seen that guy. I don't know if he was in the doghouse or whatever the situation is, but they're going up against a very good Oklahoma defensive line. A defensive line that's, I think, is maybe second in the SEC in sacks. So that's going to be a challenge for them. But, like I say, Oklahoma has a lot of woes on offense, losing the whole receiver core, man, that didn't help at all. A young, inexperienced offensive line who has battled through some things this year. And, they just got to hit the reset button. You hate to hit the reset button against a team that beat a team by 30 points that you lost to by almost 30 points, but it's got to happen, So I'm thinking Trey Harris. If Trey Harris is healthy, then OU they're gonna have a long day stopping them. But I think OU can hold them, and the keys for OU is this: they got to keep these guys. I want to say the first quarter, no turnovers, no mistakes. You got to get in third and short, or you can move the sticks and keep that defense off the field and just keep them from being, just tongue hanging out. Keep their tongue from just, I can't, you go 9, I think, I don't know if it was this week or last week. I think they went like 9 3-and-outs. And you can't have the defense out there. You can't have them out there doing that, man. So if they can do that, man, they got a shot, So like I say, man, Ole Miss got to have this ball game. Actually, Ole Miss got to have this ball game.
They got to have all of them.
Yeah, but they got to have all of them. But this game matters more to them because they got more on the line than OU does. I mean, OU is out of the playoff. They won't make a playoff. They're trying to win 2 games to make a bowl game.
Right. In the SEC, it's just flat out brutal, man. I mean, it's no weekends off for nobody.
No, it's not, man.
It's been a successful Vandy team, but they're about to get to the meat and potatoes of their schedule. So, we're about to really see who's real. Florida, a team that's kind of a surprise at 4-3 to me, with the hardest schedule in the country, they're playing good. So, the main thing is Ole Miss is at home. They got an advantage there, defend their turf. Mm-hmm. They've discovered Bentley is who he is. He's going to have some big runs. He probably can get you 100 yards. And that's where they can win the game and control the line of scrimmage from there and not put Dart in harm's way with that pressure from that defensive line, like you were saying, of Oklahoma's.
Yeah, that's gonna be Oklahoma's calling card. It's the defensive line. If they can get to Jackson Dart and they can stay in this thing for 2 quarters, now you got a different ball game. And that's something that Ole Miss does not want Oklahoma to do, is stay in this ball game through 2 quarters. They don't want that. They don't want that to happen because you got a new OC who was the passing game coordinator at Ole Miss, 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
So he got something to prove, and he's auditioning for a job. Because I don't think, unless he wins every ball game from here on out, I don't think they keep him as the OC. So he's auditioning for a job right now.
All right.
Yeah. Well, so,
all I can do is wish him good luck.
What I tell you what. So give me your thoughts on the score. What you got? What you got on this one?
Oh man, I really think Ole Miss find themselves. Oklahoma's they're gonna come in prideful. They're gonna play hard, but man, I'm seeing something like 38-21 Ole Miss.
Okay, all right. Well, for everybody know, I got the Oklahoma on, and my son will be here in Oxford tomorrow. And Mom's super excited about him, making the trip to Oxford. I'm gonna say this, man. I think Oklahoma's due. They had a lot of pressure, a lot of negativity, and man, I gotta go with the home team. I gotta go with the Sooners, man. 24-23, Sooners in the upset. So, hey,
good luck with that one.
Well, man, the game, out of all the games in the country, I think people are going to be watching. I think the Texas Vandy game. I think that is the portal at its best. I mean, come on. I mean, what are you thinking about this game? I mean, I got mixed feelings about this guy. I think Vandy can play with him. I really do. Everybody's saying, okay, this is going to be Vandy's wake-up call. They said that with Alabama.
Well, I would say definitely this is a wake-up call. You're going to have a pissed-off Texas team treat Vandy like who they are. And this is the part, again, this is a part of the schedule where reality sets in. Like, coming off a tough loss and going up against Vandy, I don't see a letdown with Texas.
Okay. You don't see a letdown with Texas.
Not at all.
But let me say this. What if you look up in the end of the first quarter, this score is 3-0. Either way, you still think it's going to be a blowout?
Absolutely. We could go into the half 7-3. There will be some adjustments made. Texas is not playing around. They're too dynamic for a Vanderbilt team, and that's not taking anything away from Vandy, but we know Texas can pile up points quick, and I don't expect nothing different. I think they're going to go in there, and they're going to take care of business.
Yeah. In other words, you're saying they got more Jimmys and Joes.
By a long shot.
Yeah,
they're not going there playing around with this ball club.
I think so, too. I think Vandy's going to be riding high. They're at home. I think Texas can't make mistakes. I think they can't make mistakes. Quinn Ewers right now, they brought Manning in to try to get a spark. So, you got a little doubt right there, in the quarterback spot. Who's the best? Is it Manning or is it Quinn Ewers? But I'm taking Texas in this one. But I'm taking Texas in a close one because I think Vandy, they're going to play well in front of their home crowd. I really do.
That stadium they've been building on for the last couple of years.
I mean, just regardless, just the home crowd, and it's going to be packed. It's not going to be a seat in the house.
Well,
so, I get an edge to Texas just because there's Jimmys and Joes.
Well, but I just don't see the nerds beating Texas this week. I don't even think it's gonna be close.
Man, you ain't had to go there, bro. You had to, hey, look, man.
I understand they trying to play Revenge of the Nerds this year, but I'm rolling with Texas on this one.
Man, I tell you what, I'm gonna go with Texas on this one. I'm 34-27 Texas.
Ooh, man, look, 45-10 Texas.
What? Okay, I got you. I think. Hey, look, I don't think that Vandy's gonna roll over. That's just my opinion. I don't think they're gonna roll over. And like I said, man, I think they're gonna play hard at home. I don't think they're gonna have the Jimmys and Joes. I think their emotions are gonna take them through halftime. And Texas is gonna make some big plays, and that's when you're gonna see Texas, kind of pull away. But I think Vandy's gonna. I think they're gonna fight. I don't think they're going. I think what's their motto? Anchor down. I think they're going to anchor down. I really do. I think they're going to anchor down, man. But we got a game coming up it's close to me, and one reason why it's close to me is because I know the starting quarterback. Starting quarterback is Luke Altmaier, former quarterback at Ole Miss, former star for Yellow Jacket, also played some youth football for me, and pretty much the portal ran him out of town. Once they got Jackson Dart, I don't think it mattered how good he played. I think they were going to push him out anyway. But Luke has done a really good job, man, at the University of Illinois, and they got number 1 Oregon this week. And so my thing about it is, man, hey, look, he's a Mississippi kid. He has my little cousin backing him up. Trey Petty from Stafford, Mississippi. They got 2 Stafford quarterbacks on that team. And hey, I'm going with the hometown boys, man, because you think about this. This kid made a choice to go to Ole Miss. He gets to Ole Miss. He gets the chance to play in a bowl game. He did not win that bowl game, but made a great showing, had a great spring, and then the portal happens. If Caleb Williams does not leave Oklahoma and go to USC, Jackson Dart would be the starting quarterback at USC, and Luke Altmaier would have been the starting quarterback at Ole Miss. So, I'm pulling for him, man. The portal give it, the portal take it away. Yes. So, man, we got to pull for the home team, and you got Dylan Gabriel that came from OU last year, man. It's a great quarterback. I don't think he has the downfield strength that he needs to be at the next level to be a good NFL guy. I think he'll be a backup in the NFL. But man, a game like this could actually put Luke in a position to get drafted.
Well, Luke so far has 15 touchdown passes with only 1 interception. So nobody really knows, and he's thrown for over 1,500 yards, 66% completion rate. So he's playing good ball.
Yeah, he's taking care of the football.
Exactly. And they running the ball good. He's passing the ball good. Illinois is an underrated team.
Yes.
So
I mean, they lost to Penn State, I believe. I think that's the only loss they have.
Yep, 21-7.
And he had to go to Penn State, overcome some adversities there. Man, I think they did a good job there, but I think they know what the task is at hand right now, with Oregon. And man, look, I don't think nobody right now goes this 12-game season without a loss. I don't think nobody does.
Well, let's just take in account that if your number 1 chances are likely, you're gonna get upset. Nobody has stayed at that spot.
Yeah, that's right.
Stay undefeated.
Nobody.
Oregon is coming off a big win against Ohio State. So do they go sleepwalking at home, watching ESPN, everybody telling them how good they are, and the underrated Illinois team is 6-1, go up to Eugene and play the way they're capable of playing? Man, I would say Oregon's on upset alert.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to do one more thing. I'm gonna have to say this. If Illinois can run the football and Luke Altmaier can he don't have to win the game for them. You know what Cam Newton talked about, game changers and something else. Cam, you know, he got all kind of stuff going on, but all he has to do is go up there and just take care of the football. He can just be a playmaker. He don't have to be a game changer. He can just be a playmaker.
Well, they got the type of offense that can slow Oregon down because they run the ball well. They have a three-headed monster. They can slow the game down. Luke can take care of the ball, do what he does. They're going to be solid.
Yeah, I think they'll be solid. I think you're right. I think upset alert coming 28-24. The Fighting Alumni.
Ooh. You know, I think it's close, but I think Oregon pulls it out 24-21. They get saved because they're at home.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're at home. But like I said, they've been on Illinois has been on the road one time this year. Didn't get the results they want. It's almost like a reset for them. So like I said, I can see them going up there and pulling the upset. So like I said, I got them. I got a 28-24 Oregon. And man, who knows? But we pull it for the home team though, baby.
Yeah,
always we pull it for the home team. I mean, reality is reality.
We both know that. 22 point, they're 20, they negative 22. Vegas has them negative 22, so we'll see.
Oh, they definitely cover, that's for sure. Illinois cover. I know that they're gonna cover. So if anybody out there, doing your sports betting, hey, I'll put my money on Illinois, that's for sure. But man, let's move to the Bulldogs, Mississippi State versus Arkansas.
Yeah, that's a brutal game.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Arkansas need this. They need this bad. They sitting at like 5-2, and the head coach need this game. Really, he needs this game bad. I think Mississippi State offensively has turned the corner. And we talked about that a little bit last week, having another 4-star quarterback just right down the street. But you got a freshman quarterback that's balling out, what that situation may be. But that's another topic another day. But, man, if Mississippi State can gather some defense, they can beat Arkansas at home. They just got to play a little bit of defense. Since the quarterback, the young kid, the freshman, since he's been at the helm, then they're averaging about 28 points. So I'm saying this, man. If their defense can just say, hey, look, man, they can make a few stops, make a few turnovers, so. But I don't know, man. That's something that I don't know. I think State could pull it up.
Well,
what you think?
State ran the ball good last week. They didn't play bad. They had opportunities. They just didn't take advantage of them. Arkansas 4-3 on the season, 2-2 in the SEC. You just don't know which Arkansas you might get. You might get the world beater, Arkansas, or you might get Arkansas that just come into Mississippi State sleepwalking. But if there's an SEC game that Mississippi State can win, this is probably it. So
yeah, I think so.
They're at home. They got these. They play 12 o'clock. It seemed like every week. So I mean, they play. They've been playing good. I give them a small chance in this one. I really do. Um, Again, Arkansas. You just don't know which Arkansas team you're gonna see. But Mississippi State has shown that they can play with anybody.
Well, man, I tell you what, I'm taking the dogs, 31-27.
You know what? I'm a roll with the dogs too. 28-14.
That's what I'm saying. I think the dogs get this one, man. And let's talk about this. Mississippi State is in need of a lot of players. Am I right or wrong?
Oh yeah.
They're in need of some players. So, what model do they take? Do they take portal heavy? Let's look at the teams that went portal heavy. Let's look at the teams that went portal heavy. We Colorado, Ole Miss, Florida State. Those teams went portal heavy. Let's do a report card on those guys. You got Colorado. First year, he cleaned house. I think they won 4 games. Well, now that was 3 more than what they won the year before. But is that working for him? It seemed to be right now that it is working for him because I think they only have 1 loss right now. Then you take Ole Miss, put $15 million on the field. They got 2 losses. Is it worth it? Do you go get high school players? Do you go get more high school players and you pay them to build your program? And let's take Florida State. They're just nothing but portal. And we see where they are right now. So what's the best way to build your football team? Because you look at Clemson, you look at Georgia, you look at Alabama, Texas a little bit. I mean, they picked up the kid from Alabama, but how do Mississippi State build this program back?
They got to recruit high school. They got to start off recruiting high school. This is Libby's first year. You get your foundation with your high school so you could build your culture. I understand what they did in Colorado. That probably was a necessary thing to do. And that's not say that Mississippi State shouldn't go on the portal because they absolutely need to. But if you're a new coach, you coming in, you're in the SEC, which is different from the first year Pac-12 and now the Big 12 that Colorado was in. The ACC, with Florida State having the name it has, they can garner some big time names out of the portal to go down to Florida State and you could turn the switch. Now, what's effective for Florida State is awesome and spectacular quarterback play, and they hadn't had that. So that has blown, their situation up a little bit, and they hadn't quite honestly recuperated from not making the college playoff.
No, I think that was a death penalty of the program, to be honest with you.
But as far as the high school recruiting Florida State has done, they've done outstanding on that front. And at the end of the day, what you're seeing is the traditional power schools like the Georgias, the Alabamas, they load up the cupboard with high school prospects. And then they cherry pick out of the portal. So, early on with this portal thing, a lot of people were saying, hey, it's gonna hurt high school players. But now it's sort of kind of leveling out. A lot of those, kids that's had the extra time due to COVID. They're starting to wash
they're
out.
phasing out. Yeah, they're phasing out right now.
We're starting to see somewhat of some balance.
Yeah.
So, when we were coming up back in our day, if you were talking about transferring, you probably had an attitude problem or something, or but then again, back then you would lose a year eligibility. So the parameters were different. Now you can transfer from school to school is free agency. So I would say your foundation has to be high school, but you can't hit the lottery like Florida State did last year with guys that are now playing in the NFL. So it's just a matter of if you could get those guys. But from what we're seeing, Georgia, Alabama, those type of schools, they're still able to get who they want, and they're going to get the top recruits out the portal if they want them. So, I would say another thing is coaches need more time than 2-3 years to build a program in this day and age. Sometimes coaches may need about 5 or 6 years. If you
Mhm.
think about it, Jim Harbaugh was at Michigan, 8-9 years, and it took
Perfect
him that
example.
long
Perfect
to
example,
become,
man.
you know, to become a relevant program that can consistently compete with Ohio State. So it takes time. You got to know where you are on the pecking order. In Mississippi State is basically building a program from scratch.
Man, I totally agree with you saying about the Bulldogs. I think that's the route. I think I think you have a coach and Coach Levy that can build it, but I think they have to give him time. I think the AD is a very patient guy. I think he's going to give him that time. Um, and I think you go the high school route. I really do. I think you go the high school route. You take your lumps and bruises. Levy has proven that he can score points. And in today's time, you got to score points, man. It's not like it was years ago. You don't see many 10-7 football games anymore. Those games those games are few and far beyond. And I think you go to high school route. Colorado did what they did because of who their coach is. But every program is not built to use the portal to be their masterpiece, you know, to present to the conference, hey, I'm here. I think Florida State was at a point where Norvell was kind of, if he didn't win, they were gonna, I think he was looking at the axe. So when the portal came available, I think he just went, I got to get everything I can. And it happened, and the committee wasn't kind to him for it. So I think you're absolutely right when it comes to Mississippi State. I think they rebuild a program by going to get good high school kids. And then you still get portal kids to fill some slots. You look at Georgia. Who's on that team out the portal? That's one of their major contributors.
Maybe
They did
ETN.
well. That's
Maybe,
what I'm
but
saying.
he's going into a loaded backfield already.
Right. But what I'm saying is they just doing spots. They're not retooling the whole team.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're not retooling the whole team. They'll say, okay, look, this kid right here, we can use him. We can use him. Maybe him. You're talking about maybe four components. That's not bad. That's a different from what Dion did. What he do? Like 50 some guys or more?
Well, and we're talking about a different type of coach. We're talking about an icon, right? So, you know, in
I understand
Colorado,
that, but
yeah,
but but yet and still, you know.
it's a sense of urgency to get that program turned around because they were dormant.
So you don't
Nobody.
think there's a sense of urgency at Mississippi State?
I absolutely do, but I don't think you have to take the portal route. I think you have to go long term and develop talent so you can sustain success and build
Okay.
your culture. That's just the way I see it. And with the coaching staff, the general management at Mississippi State, they have a young group that can actually get it done. I'm impressed on the recruits that they're bringing in and out every week. And some of the recruits and some of the players that's already on their roster that they
Yeah.
could build around. So they
Mm-hmm.
got a good nucleus. Hey, you've identified a freshman quarterback. You got a
Got it.
kid, a hometown kid, Burnside, that's on that
Got it.
roster with a few other kids. That's a lot to build off of. I mean, just naming just a few. and the way that they're running the ball, they're finding their identity. Now, if you look up and you can get a few guys out the portal, so be it. But I would invest the money on the talent that you recruit.
I 100% agree with Mississippi State. I think that's the best route for them.
And
I
I
think.
spent a lot of it on if Mississippi State can somehow become a top 15 team in
Oh
recruiting,
yeah,
and it's
that's
possible in the SEC.
right, right.
It's just possible. So I would aim as that being a goal as being a top 15 team as
Mm-hmm.
far as recruiting, and I would spend it on high school kids. Now we find something in the portal, that's fine, but I'm gonna get the best high school kids I can get.
Mississippi State. Do y'all hear Mikael Stevens talking to you? There's a lot of kids in the state of Mississippi that I think they can get that will help that program. So, and the thing about it is you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on real good football players. They're good football players that just want to go play football. And I understand the NIL part of it, but there are some solid 3-star guys that you can turn into a 4 or 5 if you're willing to put the time in with those guys. Those are the kids that they got to have.
Absolutely.
They got to they got to get those type kids. They got to quit looking at, okay, this is a 4-star kid. They got to go get that kid with the right stuff. What I mean by that, I mean, he's number one, academically, he's going to be there. You look at what he's doing in the classroom. So if he's got a 3.0 in the classroom, that means he's going to give you everything on that football field. So you go look at that.
I tell you what I want to see, whether it's Mississippi State, Ole Miss, USM, Jackson State, Alcorn. I want to see somebody get in a helicopter. I want some coaches get in the helicopter, bounce around on a Friday night, land on that baseball field.
Well, that's all in a coach's personality. Like you were saying with Dion, it got to be that coach's personality. If it's not in his personality, then it don't fit the program, bro.
Well, I get that, but I'm not just that's not a Dion personality. That's locking your state down.
Saying, I get it, but what I'm saying is this: I think everybody have their own style or how they recruit and how they go get kids. The helicopter stuff, it's a wow factor for that moment. But what after that moment? What about that mom and that dad at the house? You make sure he's going to get an education. You make sure that he's going to have good internships. You make sure that he's going to have financial literacy before he leaves there. Man, you got to appeal to some more people within his circle.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So, that's my take on that, man. Like I say, I think when it comes to the portal right now, they said Lane is the portal king, but I got to give it to Dion. Right now. Dion is in a position maybe to get in a championship game in the Big 12. Ole Miss cannot lose again, and I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. And they still have to play Missouri, and they got a tough OU team coming in. So, if I want to give a report card right now, I give Dion and the Colorado Buffs. I give them a B plus. I give Ole Miss a B minus, and I give Florida State a B because they did it last year. I don't know what happened to this year, but they did it last year, and I think a lot of what happening to them this year has to do with last year. So the portal, give it, the portal take it away. The portal can make you the portal king, or it can make you the portal queen. And I'm being honest with you. But guess what? We got one opening in the state of Mississippi, job opening. USM gave Will Hall the boot last week. And I got the coach for y'all, dog. I got the coach for you. Let's bring him up. Dan the man. Hey, yeah, baby, right now. I got him. That's who you need to go get.
Oh man.
You go get Dan the man. Dan the man. Dan do not need the money, bro. He does not need the money. You go get Dan. He's gonna get you into your championship in your conference. And yeah, he'll probably be gone maybe a year after that or whatever situation is. But if you want to reboot Southern Miss to the Southern Miss when they were playing Alabama tough, go get Dan the man.
I got one better. I got one that'll up you on this one.
All right, let's go. Let me hear it.
A Hattiesburg graduate, a current SEC assistant coach.
All right.
Robert Gillespie of Alabama. I think that would be even better.
He don't have the name.
Oh,
he don't have the name. He don't have the pedigree that Dan has had with a Dak Prescott.
He may not have that, but he's coached up under some legends.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he's not capable of doing the job, but I'm just saying if Dan Mullins gets that job, automatically you're gonna have quarterbacks. Okay, I'm going to play for Dan. Dak Prescott, one of the highest paid and the richest quarterbacks in the NFL. He built him. Dan was the only somebody who would let him play quarterback. Everybody else wanted to play linebacker. Dan the man, bro.
I don't see it. I think Dan will be back in the SEC. Might even go to the Big Ten.
Yeah. Well, right now they're saying Pat Surtain and right now Derek Nix. Those are the two guys that's popping up right now. But I thought this right here would be perfect, man. You know. And here's the deal with Nix. Nix is making like 1.5 mil over at Auburn. Man, does he take that pay cut? I think that job only pays like $800,000. So does he take that pay cut?
Nah.
Now, he might not have a job at Auburn in a year or so he might want to. But you have Pat Surtain. I think he's at Florida State right now with the defensive backs. You know, I think his son played at Alabama. He's in the league. He was the head coach at Heritage down in Florida, which had a bunch of NFL talent. So I don't know, man. I think Dan is the man for the job.
Mm.
You know, so we're gonna get. Look, we got one more thing to talk about, and it's not an in-state school. Southern versus FAMU. We got to talk about the SWAC before we get out of here. Southern knocked off Alcorn State, knocked off my Braves last week. You know, they pretty much in the driver's seat in the West. And FAMU got to hope somebody lose. They got to hope somebody knock off Jackson State. So right now Jackson State is in the driver's seat, but that's a big ball game. That's a big ball game right there. FAMU, man, I tell you, I mean, they got a good football program, man. But I hate to keep saying it, but TC has the Tigers, man. He got them going in the right direction, man.
He does. However, they still, they still got to play Alabama State.
They do.
And that's going to be the challenge for them. And I think it's on the road.
Okay.
So, that'll be, we looking at that east side as maybe a 3-team tie, and we might have to factor in the tiebreaker.
Man, that's one thing you don't want. You don't want that tiebreaker, man, because I don't think, like, every year the tiebreaker comes, they have to go to the tiebreaker. It comes down to a team that everybody really, don't feel like should be in that championship game. So I hope it doesn't come down to the tiebreaker. That's one thing I I hope somebody can win it outright. I hope somebody can win it outright. I would love to see Jackson State and Alcorn in that thing, but Alcorn, they went to bed last week, bro. They went to bed last week, so that is it's still a possibility. But man, Alcorn got to win out, and they got to get some help.
And still a lot of football to be played. A lot of football.
Man, still a lot of football
to be played.
A lot of football to be played. But look, before we get out of here, guys, hey, down at the bottom, hit that like button and subscribe, man. Help us out. We'll appreciate it. We're finna get out of here. Hey, man, look, Mikhail, I appreciate it, man. Look, we'll be back next week. Same time, same station. Peace.